So my players and I were in a little bit of a situation. You see, one of them was going on vacation for a month, and instead of canceling our weekly home game, we decided, hey, why don't we try something new and let's do a pre-made module. And as a result, I ran Curse of Strahd for the very first time on my stream. You can probably check that out in the video description or somewhere over there and recommended. But basically, it was the very first pre-made module that I've ever ran, and going into it at first I was really intimidated because it's Curse of Strahd. You know, it's Curse of Strahd is considered one of, if not the greatest sandbox module of all time. And you know, especially doing this, stepping out of my comfort zone, I decided to embrace the overall tribulations of running a pre-made adventure for the very first time. So these are some of my thoughts. The first one is prep. And when it came to prep, I thought, you know, common sense. Okay, we're going to make we're going to make less by, you know, having things prepared from the book, just go straight from the book. But then I realized that it was a little bit trickier than that, and frankly some of the things that I didn't like about Curse of Strahd made me change a lot more than I thought. You see, in Curse of Strahd, you're supposed to start on a different area of the map, which is from right to left, or should I say the village of Barovia. And basically, you're supposed to enter this thing called, I believe it's called the Madhouse, where it's essentially a tutorial stage where you go from levels 1 to 3. The people there are not very nice, and to me, in my mind, especially understanding my players, there's not really any buy-in, and there's no real reason for the players to really care about, you know, running or saving these people or helping them at all. So instead, what I did was I started them at level 2, and I started them on the opposite side of the map. And the reason why I did that is because after reading the places that were there where they will be starting, to me, they seemed the most normal. And frankly, I think that my players could actually resonate with some of these people, and I think that would just make an overall better experience. Yeah, there was this problem with, you know, rebalancing the encounters, making sure they're not too hard for players. But overall, I think over the course of the 4 sessions that I ran it, it wasn't that bad. And, you know, especially when it came to prep, you probably saw me on stream freaking out a few times where I didn't really know what I was doing or what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just couldn't prep beforehand or read beforehand. So literally, as my players are talking to each other, I'm like scrolling through the book on D&D Beyond just to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And, you know, overall, I think that the experience was good, and besides the sort of modifications, I think that this sort of changed my viewpoint about running a pre-made game. You see, you know, my biggest fear of why I've never run a pre-made campaign is because, you know, with the internet and with word of mouth, you know, if I tell my players, hey, we're going to play Curse of Strahd, one of them can just go on Google, type in Curse of Strahd, and then all of a sudden they know everything about what's happening, which can be true, especially with more linear storylines like, I don't know, Minds of Fandover. But they didn't. And I tried to keep it as much of a secret as much as I could before the actual session. And frankly, this was a mistake because there was no buy-in from the beginning, and you could probably tell from the very first session that it was very trolly. And, you know, it is what it is, but it was definitely something that I should have done. And that's the thing about pre-made modules. I thought, you know, you can't really tell them what they're going to be playing without, you know, telling them about, telling them what it is. Like, I cannot pitch a Curse of Strahd campaign without telling them about Strahd. So, you know, I don't think I could ever go through a pre-made module again where I have to tell them, I cannot tell them anything, but like nothing at all. And I gave them the situation that it was going to be a gothic horror. It was a serious campaign, but I still think that just because I said that, it's so vague that nobody cares. And, you know, and they shouldn't care. So overall, I think that moving forward, I'm going to change my mind about pre-made modules. You see, instead of doing what the module says, what I think what I'll do from now on is take the module, see what I like about it, see what I don't like about it, and then change things, and then have the players experience those changes. Especially if, you know, you have players that read the monster manual, or, you know, are many different D&D campaigns. I think the best thing for me was to just rearrange and have them start somewhere else. And overall, I think I still threw them off the loop. And, you know, I think it was a good job. But anyways, that's it for this video. It's a little bit short. It is a one take after all. How far am I in? Okay, I am roughly 6 minutes in. But overall, I think it was a good experience. Hopefully in the future I will run more pre-made modules, and it was fun. I hope to try this again sometime. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed my ramblings and maybe inspired you to start a pre-made module, and don't do what I did, which is, you know, go from nothing, like watching Critical Role or watching something, and then jumping into a homebrew campaign, which to me is not the way to go. I wish I had a pre-made module before, because honestly, running Curse of Strahd, it sounded a lot better than running my own campaign. So overall, I'd wish everybody to give it a shot, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.